All right, rolling recording, guys.
I'm pleased to be here with an old champion and a friend of mine, Paul Moreno, who served in the legislature for 40 years. And we're here to make an important endorsement of Naomi Gonzalez today. And I'll defer to Paul first because he's the senior colleague in the House, and then I'll have some very strong words as to why this is so important for El Paso. Paul?
Thank you. Thank you, sir. The fact that Norma has received thousands of dollars from the Republican lobby, and also that she has catered to people like Tom Craddick, Tom DeLay, Governor Perry, George Bush, Tom DeLay, is really insignificant, because what I worry about, I have always worried about, is the fact that we need a trustworthy member of our delegation and one that is trusted by the other members. I tried to make 5 compelling reasons, but I know I couldn't, I ran out. Compelling reasons why Norma should be defeated, Norma Chavez. My friends, Norma has little or no respect from the members of the legislature. I can tell you there because I've been there and I've been present there, and I can feel the disrespect that they have for her. It's not trusted. He's not trusted. One incident is one time that we were having a celebration for Cesar Chavez's sister, and supposedly Norma Chavez passes the word around that she's a friend of Cesar. She is not. She is not, because the night before she was in a party, and she told us that she was going to vote for this Cesar Chavez resolution. The morning she came up and voted against it. So from there, man, we had no respect for her. And the fact that she caters to the big Republican contributors is something that politically we cannot stand. I'm sure the senator and I will believe in that. And the fact that she has been voted the worst legislator in Texas for 2 years, 2 different sessions by the Texas Monthly, that tells us a lot, that she has been called and written about being the worst and the most disruptive legislator in the legislature. Gary Hart of the El Paso Times wrote something like this: Norma Chavez is a disgrace to Mexican-American women in El Paso. She was escorted out of the chamber for using the F word over 20 times. And she was using that word against Joe Pickett and myself because we were all present. The El Paso Times editorial also said, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that the actions that Norma Chavez has taken, because she has made the El Paso delegation a laughing stock of our delegation in Austin. One that really upsets me is the way she treats and has no respect for her father. We were in a Democratic meeting one time, and her father was doing something for her, and he came in, and she really got to him, and really got to him in front of all of us, and really told her father off. And his father was a humble man. He was trying his darndest to help her. And that is the worst fallacy that that a person can ever have. And we don't need that. We don't need those type of persons that to be in the legislature. So I'm here, hopefully telling the people of El Paso that we do not want, El Paso does not want a legislator to represent us in Austin with a character so bad as Norma Chavez. And for that, I am Senator endorsing Naomi for state representative, who I know will be a much, much better representative than Norma. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Well, let me forget. Let me tell you one thing that I forgot is the political things. We had a walkout in the legislature because there was a redistricting bill that was being debated and was going to be debated, and 51 of us Democrats walked out of the legislature, and we met in Oklahoma, and we broke the quorum, and the bill was not passed. Norma Chavez was not with us. She was in Austin. She was in Austin. And catering, of course, to Tom Craddock. And we know that. And of course, you know, we cannot, who exactly we should talk to, but our sources tell us that she was in Austin and not any place close to Oklahoma. So that really is a low blow to us Democrats, especially to the El Paso members that were in Norman, Oklahoma. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. We know Norma best. We served every day that she was in Austin. Session after session, we witnessed profanity on the Senate floor, a slap incident to my senior staff member on the Senate floor, screaming tantrums in the halls, her being escorted off the House floor for using the F word, behavior that is unacceptable to any legislator, any office holder, anywhere. El Paso deserves better. El Paso deserves public officials who make us proud. We can do much, much better in Austin, Texas with Naomi Gonzalez.
Now, besides all the things that you're saying about Norma, what made you want to represent Naomi Chavez, endorse Naomi Chavez?
I've watched Naomi over the years. She's a capable lawyer. She has a law degree. I've watched her with her parents. If you go look and see how she behaves with her parents as a respectful, humble person. She does her homework. She reaches out to people. That's exactly the kind of person you want in public office. Someone who is respected and respectful, someone who does their homework, who is strong about her district, but at the end of the day represents her district, is strong about her district. Back in 2003, Norma Chavez and a handful of Craddock Democrats deposed one of the best Democratic speakers ever, Pete Laney, and put in place the worst Republican speaker ever for El Paso, Tom Craddock. That's the record of Norma Chavez. Naomi Gonzalez will be a breath of fresh air in Austin.
How do you feel that this change will benefit El Paso?
We have become a laughingstock in Austin because of Norma. When you watch Norma on the floor get escorted by the Senate Sergeant at Arms, she's over in the Senate now, slapping my staff member, and senators going over to break up what Norma's doing on the Senate floor. What message does that send about El Paso? That behavior is disgraceful, and we need a representation in Austin that makes us proud.
Now, with the last voting results, it showed that Naomi kind of had the upper hand. Do you think that this is a call for El Paso to make this change?
We need representation now. These issues are so important. There's going to be a big fight over the budget where they're going to try and cut our school districts, cut CHIP. We need people that are respected, can get in there and do the job. So That district, the heart of El Paso, deserves better representation. Now is the time for change.
We're going to have redistricting come up. Redistricting is one of the most important functions of the legislature. Every 10 years after the census comes out, we redistrict El Paso, and this is the time for we to decide how many members and where they're going to represent El Paso, and our senators. Also our congressmen will come later on, but that's not our bag, so to speak. We know the congressmen do their own thing. But anyway, that is the main thing. And I think, and I know darn good and well, that Norma Chavez will not be the proper person to represent El Paso. I think, and I believe strongly, that Norma Chavez does not have the proper credentials, personality, and all to not represent El Paso in the legislature, or for that matter, I feel that she has no capacity to be in any political body whatsoever.
Senator Shapleigh, my final question for you. Have you had a chance to speak with Naomi and tell her how you felt and why you wanted to endorse her?
I have spoken with Naomi and Norma over the years. I've let Norma know exactly how I felt about her behavior. I have spoken to Naomi in the past, but not recently. I think it's important to let the campaign evolve, but this election is too important. The stakes are too high. We need representation that makes us proud in Austin. That's what we need.
In her campaign, TV ads and also written ads, she claims that Ms. Gonzalez is taking money from Republican interests. Do you have anything about that?
But let's talk about that, because 2003 was the historic session. That's when all these cuts took place. Why did they take place? Because the worst Republican speaker ever was put into office, Tom Craddock. Who put him into office? Norma Chavez. There were a handful of Republicans and Democrats, only 10 of them, that joined together. They were called Craddock D's, and they elected Tom Craddock to the speakership. That was Norma Chavez in league with Republicans to elect a Republican speaker and take down and depose a great Democratic speaker named Pete Laney. Paul was there. Paul watched it. If there's a clear record of working with Republicans, it is Norma Chavez when she took out Pete Laney, a great Democrat, and put in the worst Republican speaker of all time.
All right. Is your hope that with both of your supports that this will push Naomi over the top and assure that she should be in the legislature next time?
Let me tell you my hope. My hope is that El Paso has the best representation in the state. We're far away from Austin. We have many needs. We have to fight to improve our town. We've got to get kids into health insurance. We've got to improve UTEP. We can't afford disgraceful leadership down in Austin. We can't afford a member who has screaming tantrums on the floor. One who is slapping staff members and gets escorted off the floor by the sergeant at arms. That is embarrassing to El Paso. And guess what? We can do better. We have to do better.
Right.
Okay. Any final
anything at all?
that you'd like to add?
I think we've said it all.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.